Hey guys, Bluebridge here for a transfer update, and today I'll be talking Garnacho, I'll be talking Tyrique George, Xavi Simons, and the rest. So let's get into it. So guys, welcome to a transfer update video where I'm going to be discussing a few of the transfers ins and outs. So first of all, welcome Kato to the club, who's officially been confirmed as a Chelsea player, and Xavi Simons, it looks like that's close. But what we're doing, as I mentioned in a video I did a couple of days ago, we are waiting to try and get some players out before we can get this transfer through the door. So he's agreed terms to join us, but we need to balance the books, as I mentioned. So that's why we are there's a delay in this transfer. So people have got to stay calm, and hopefully it will happen. And today it may have moved a step closer. Simons did something yesterday which I don't really advocate, because a lot of our fan base are saying, okay, it's great that he's decided that he's quote unquote injured. That's why he didn't feature in RB Leipzig's friendly the other day. He's taken off RB Leipzig from his bio on socials, and some of our fans are applauding it. I don't really like doing that, because if it was one of our players who did that to try and force a move out of our club, then there will be a lot of people getting on their backs. So I believe players should stay professional, just like what's happening with Isak. I don't agree with all that, what he's doing for the club who pays his wages. And as much as I'd like Xavi Simons to come, I would prefer it to be done in a very professional manner. So that being said, as I said, today news has come out about Tyrique George and how he would like a permanent move. Would he like a permanent move, or do the club see him as a make-weight for this Xavi Simons deal? Because during negotiations for Xavi Simons, apparently RB Leipzig have inquired about Tyrique George, and so he's keen to try something else. And Tyrique George was the one who kick-started our good run by the scoring that last-minute equaliser against Fulham, which then went on for us to win that game through Pedro Neto. From what I've seen of Tyrique George, very good player, but very raw player, and as much as I'd like to keep him, if he moves away, I won't be too disappointed, because I don't think, because when you think who's coming in at the moment, we've got if Xavi Simons comes in, he can play that left side role as well as the 10 spot, and if we are having Gittins coming in, then again his game time is going to be lessened. And let's talk about Garnacho, I'll be talking about just in a minute. So where's his game time coming from? And if you look on the other side, we've got Pedro Neto, who can play both sides actually, and we've got Esteval Willian, you've got Cole Palmer as well, who can play there. So and plus, because we are going to be playing in the Champions League, then if we're playing in the conference or even the Europa, then that is an opportunity for some of the youngsters to get chances. But we are going to be looking to play an established, strong team through most of our competitions. So that leaves him with limited game time, as I said. And at his age, he just needs to be playing regularly for his progression. So if he doesn't play regularly, that's going to stunt his development. And so it's not going to be any good for the player. And as I said, we already said about having to sell before we can buy. If we get that pure profit through the door for Tyrique George, then that would, as I said, help speed up the move for Xavi Simons. And I think what we need to do is be smart about this, because putting a buyback clause or maybe a sell-on clause for him, because if he does well at RB, then we can potentially bring him back at Chelsea once he's matured. And at this age, sometimes, as I don't like using the wonder kid thing that everyone does all the time. He looks good, as I said, but he looks raw to me. He doesn't look exceptional. He just looks like a very good player. As I said, he may become really, really top class at one day, but I just see him being becoming a very good player rather than a top tier player for me, from what I've seen. But as I said, I may be wrong, but only time will tell. So those stories out of the way. Quick touch on Renato Vega as well, because it may be a little bit of a sort of merry-go-round, because obviously there was talk about him going to Atletico Madrid, which I've discussed before, but they brought Hanko in, who was meant to be going to it's not Al Hilal, Al Ati, one of the Saudi clubs. Excuse me for not remembering which one. There's lots of Hals over there, but is it Al Hatti? I think it's Al Hatti. But so because they weren't able to purchase him, they've turned their attentions on Renato Vega. So as I said, there's a little merry-go-round going around. So Chelsea wanted €40 million for him. That's what they quoted to Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid deemed it a little bit more expensive, and when Hanko came onto the market and it was deemed as being a cheaper option, they went for him. So will we get that expected €40 million that we're asking for from Atletico, or will we accept something a little bit lower, like 30, 35? And I know questions are going to be asked, because it was asked last couple of years ago when we sold a lot of our players to some Saudi teams. And it makes me laugh, the hypocrisy. How Chelsea getting away with this, being able to sell to the Saudis? But when Liverpool sold 3 players to the Saudis, nothing said about it. And there's talk of Nunes going off to a Saudi club, and nothing. But I'm hearing, because obviously we already sold João Felix to Saudi, and if we sell another one, then these voices and noises are going to come up again. But I choose not to listen to those voices. The last thing I want to talk about is the Garnacho situation. And with Garnacho, I don't want to always knock the fan base, or a majority of the fan base, but what is it with us? And there's this echo chamber, this sheep mentality that we have. A couple of big accounts came out saying how they didn't want Garnacho because of his brother's social media activity and unprofessionalism, etc. And because a couple of them said it, all I'm seeing in our fan base is, I don't want Garnacho. Some people have even gone as far as to say, if Garnacho joins the club, I'm leaving. No, they're not true fans. That's just the mentality of some of the people who we got supporting our clubs nowadays. And a lot of people are just, as I said, jumping on the bandwagon. A lot of people don't even care about the fact his brother's posting these things, but it's just because, as I said, some big accounts are outraged, so everyone else thinks they need to be outraged. For me, I'm not outraged by it. If he joins, he joins, and I'll judge the guys when he joins the club. If he joins and he performs, then yeah, great. If he joins, he starts causing trouble and he doesn't perform, then it's time for me to start getting on his back or questioning the club's judgment. But until then, I don't judge people before they come through the door. That's not what I like to do. And I wish more people can just have their own minds and form their own opinions rather than having to rely on other people's opinions all the time. Anyway, that's my rant over. So these are the deals ins and out. Maybe there's a few more, like the Sterling situation and others. Who else is there? Oh, sorry, Broha. I forgot to mention Broha. Broha, he's joining Burnley. Good luck to him. Hope, good player, good potential, lots of injuries. I hope those injuries will be behind him now. The deal's been muted at 25 million, apparently from a couple of sources. I don't know what the true money is. But so if we're getting a 25 million from him, maybe 20, 25 for the George situation, I'm not sure. Maybe around about 20 million for George. That's 45 million. Simons is 60 million. So another 30 odd million or 35 million plus for Vega, and then you're seeing how the juggling is going on. So outs are just as important as ins, and if we can get a squad where we got a squad of 24, 25 players, where you got two good players for each position like we used to have back in the day, then maybe we can challenge on all fronts. But as I said before, time will tell. So what do you think of all the outgoings and the incomings at the club at the moment? Are you happy with them? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget, as always, like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications, let me be notified every time I make a new video. So take care. Bye bye.